working? Good afternoon, and this is the last session of the CPA program. Morning I had asked if anybody would wish to give a presentation. I just would like to know, is it Dr. Deepa Lakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, you're very much audible. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm handing over the session to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, working as assistant professor in pharmacy practice department, JSS College of Pharmacy, UT. Let me share regarding interprofessional education needed in health sciences. This is my topic today. Before that, I thank PSG College of Pharmacy for having given me this opportunity to share few of our experience at JSS on interprofessional pharmacy education. Ma'am, this is just a formal disclaimer that the contents of these presentations are either in the public domain or the experience of the institutions.
Just a little bit louder will be much better.
Okay, I'm using microphone. This is personal understanding, perception, and experiences of the presenter, and the institution of the presenter shall not be made liable. This is a formal disclaimer. Just let us first ask the question to ourselves: is it important to have interprofessional education in health sciences? Yes, the answer is very big. Yes, let us look at how the WHO and FIP support for the notion of interprofessional education in health sciences. We all know about the SDP, that is Sustainable Development Goal. In this SDG 3 of the United Nations clearly states that all the health targets can be achieved only through promoting universal health coverage. It was projected by WHO that there exists a huge coverage gap between the present availability of the health-related human resource and the resource with ideal quality. We have the huge gap. So WHO has estimated that a current shortage of health-related human resources is about 7.2 million worldwide. So drastically increased and almost will be double to become 30 million by 2035. So one of the solutions recommended by WHO to meet out the global health-related human resources is to optimize the existing workforce through the interprofessional education. The International Pharmaceutical Federation, that is FIP, recommends IP as a key strategy for the initial and continuing professional education and training. That is, IP is important not only during the studenthood but also during the professional practice. Thus, FIP states that this interprofessional education involves both the future and present healthcare workers, and so ideally should begin before the licensing, that is, when the professionals start their courses and continue throughout the career as continuing professional development. The point I would like to emphasize here is IP is not the one which is provided only during the course of the study, rather to be continuously provided throughout our career. World Health Organization, along with its partners, has come out with the Global Strategy on Human Resources for Health Workforce 2030, and in the said document, IP has been strongly recommended. So I have chosen this topic, interprofessional education. So the interprofessional practice education, that is EP, the ultimate goal of EP is, our ultimate goal is improved patient outcome. To get the improved patient outcome, first we have to strengthen the healthcare systems. How can we achieve this? How can we strengthen the healthcare system? We have to collaborate practice ready workforce. Therefore, a collaborative practice ready workforce cannot exist without first establishing the effective interprofessional education. So there are two main types of EP. One is student-centric and another one is instructor-centric. The EP environment can be, again, we have two types. One is classroom setting, next one is experiential setting. Both these settings have merits and demerits of their own. Based on the activities which you are designing, the environment has to be chosen. First, we'll move on to the student-centric approach, student-centric activities. This is one of the most important type of EP. Ideally, the student-centric EP should coordinate the professions such as medicine, nursing, pharmacy, dietitians, and nutrition. For example, if the program focuses on improving the care of individuals who have mental health issues, or who are child older adults, clinical psychologists may be needed. Let me give one more example here. In our case, if the program focuses the therapeutic care of the stroke patient, neurology students. So one other such example from our practice. This practice only we are doing in JSS Culture Pharmacy UT. We combine both the pharmacy students and nursing students learning the topics from the subject pathophysiology. By this program, for example, pathophysiology of cardiovascular diseases is discussed for about 6 hours. Various collaborative exercise, assignments, experience sharing exercise, and socialization about each other's professions are executed successfully. One important aspect of the exercise is the individual student should not lose his or her professional identity. In other terms, there should not be any room for one professional student to dominate and influence the students of another professionals. Here, I've given the model schedule of an EP done last year. You can appreciate here, then this schedule has all the information about the logistics, venue, personnel who are responsible, time of the EP activity, etc. Thus, it requires the meticulous planning to successfully conduct the EP program. Otherwise, people may lose their interest and will not be participate actively. In case of instructor-centric EP, ideally the clinical faculty and other healthcare practitioners with practice experience play a critical role as mentor and the role models. In this type of EP activity, the clinicians from diverse disciplines share their expertise about the patient care roles and responsibilities of individual healthcare professionals to improve the outcome and patient's care. So here we can appreciate here in our institution, we conduct a continuing pharmacotherapy education program. This program is designed such a way that super specialty doctors from in and around the district and neighboring districts or special doctors from are invited to deliver talk on pharmacotherapy of diseases and the role of clinical pharmacists in such diseases. About 10 such sessions. Duration of about 1.5 hours are scheduled in one academic year, and attending all these 10 courses are made compulsory for clerkship and internship students. When the students successfully attend all the 10 programs, accounting for about 15 hours, result in the clarification or certifications as a value-added program, which will also be useful during accreditation, including NAC here. The next way of instructor-centric EP is that happens at the bedside during the wardrooms. The clinicians informally interact, teach, discuss with the students, and the students also learn through the active listening through the discussion with other healthcare professionals. So here I have just shown some photographs of the EP activities at JSS Culture Pharmacies, wherein you can see the medical, pharmacy, and nursing students gathered for student-centric EP. Also for the instructor-centric EP, the eminent super specialty doctor in neurology, Dr. Pranesh, engaged our pharmacy students. Dr. Pranesh, he engaged our pharmacy interns and addressed about the expectations from the clinical pharmacist. Here, we can understand that EP may be conducted in diverse learning environments such as classrooms and experiential settings. But in both the models, the key element is that as much as possible, the activity should reflect the real-time experience. This can be achieved by using case-based studies carefully constructed or simulated in such a way that contributions from the disciplines are required to solve the designated cases. Here, an our institution create the environment called pharmacotherapy coursework. In the long program, reinforcement of the subject matters in the pathophysiology, pharmacology, and pharmacotherapeutics are done about particular disease conditions, followed by students will be presenting the case fabricated with adequate opportunities for interventions by different professionals. This case presentation will be assessed and feedback given to the students by the panel of professionals. The professionals comprises the physician, nurse, and the pharmacist. After this program, what we'll do, we'll distribute the feedback copy that from the student. We used to get the feedback from the students, and this coursework is very encouraging. Here we can see they've created the system, and this system, it works very encouraging and positive. I've shown the model feedback here. Here we can see this is the feedback we are given by the students. Feedback from the students are very positive, and they have request to conduct such sessions for more topics and also begin the sessions early in the course. This is a model just we have conducted for cardiovascular system and endocrine system. They want the students need for other sessions also. Here, as I mentioned earlier, it is not only for the students, rather it is also for the practicing pharmacists. In this context, the Center for CPE program for practicing pharmacists importance the EP for their training. In collaboration with the State Pharmacy Council, IPA local chapters and the Regional Association of Community Pharmacists, CPD program are conducted periodically to upgrade and update the practicing pharmacists. So Form the Info eLearn is an e-platform that is used for the online CPD program. I hope all the PSG students they were heard about the Form the Info eLearn. This program developed by our own faculty, and most of the students using this platform for their sharing. And here we can see the competencies, knowledge competencies, skill competencies, attitude, and primary teamwork competencies. In knowledge competencies, just cue, strategy, association, situation, and situation assessment. Skill competence, team leadership, conflict and resolution. In attitude competencies, the moral and shared which they can share their vision. And primary teamwork competencies, mutual trust and collective orientation. And coming to various in it is academic requirements, multiple professors to have the common academic requirements, then only we can design the EP activity. So all the barriers we have faced, we are trying to overcome that slowly. And here I will share some important key points. EP in health sciences is highly recommended by both WHO and FIP. It is strongly believed that EP will help in improving the patient outcomes. EP can be done both the student-centric and instructor-centric activities. So this interprofessional practice education can be done both the classroom and practice environment, that is nothing but hospital. So EP meant both for the students and practicing pharmacists. So this EP helps to develop unique competencies among the students and the professionals. If we could overcome the barriers, EP will be more successful pedagogy in pharmacy education and practice. So let us end with this quote: coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, working together is a success. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi. Deepa Lakshmi, sorry. And just we have given a very small time, and that within a short 2 hours time, you are able to just prepare everything and say, is anybody else?
Actually, thanks for this opportunity, ma'am. This practice we are doing in our institution. That's what just I want to share. So
Yes. This is between the B Farm, Farm D, all put together, isn't it, madam?
Yes. No B Farm, so only Farm D and medicine and nursing students.
Okay. Farm D, medicine and nursing. All
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, this is a good practice. I think everybody can implement, because as you said, in WHO and in par with that, you are just doing this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Any participant would like to present any data? So I thought 1 or 2. 1 or 2 presentations can be allowed. So if anybody is willing, you can please come forward. Madam, can you please?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
If anybody else is willing to do a presentation, please come forward. Otherwise, we will continue with our program. Okay, thank you, participants. Now, actually, all the sessions are over, and Dr. Maida Angels, who is the associate professor working here, will be just giving a complete overview and a glimpse of what all has happened, and about each resource person, any 2-3 messages, take-home messages, what has been insisted will be said now. I think this is going to be really useful. Just we'll have a small brush up before going in for vote of thanks and winding up the CPE program. Thank you. Over to Dr. Maida.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, all, and welcome you all for the concluding session of the CPE program. The CPE program was started on 26/2022, and the inaugural address was given by Dr. M. Ramanathan, Principal, PSG College of Pharmacy. And the inaugural address, sir stated the objectives of this CPE program. And the inaugural address was followed by the first session given by Mrs. Joy Vincent, and the topic was non-verbal communication techniques. And the session was started by playing an interesting video that completely of non-verbal communication. And the resource person narrated the importance of different forms of non-verbal communication. She also told about the languages that has to be adopted during the presentation, that is language of head and neck, language of arms and legs, mouth movements and expressions, language of eyes, body language, because all these body languages reflects the individual's attitude and emotional state. She also explained each and every elements of non-verbal communication, such as kinesics, proxemics, physical environment, and the distracting non-verbal communications that are to be avoided are clearly given by the resource person. Finally, the session ended up with highlighting the ways to enhance the communication. The second session of the first day of the CPE program was given by Dr. Vidya Lakshmi under the topic Dynamic Oral Presentation. The session was started by a quote that the art of communications is the language of leadership. She addressed the requirements for an effective presentation and gave detailed explanation on organization, event planning, writing, use of visual aids, dealing with stress, answering the questions. She gave input on what all should be the aim and planning of an oral presentation. She explained 3 things, 5 tips, 6 do's and don'ts props that are used for the oral presentation, modulation that has to be adopted during the presentation, posture that has to be maintained during the presentation, time management, and take-home messages that has to be given very crispy manner, and what are the other things that has to be taken care while giving an oral presentation. She also gave some tips for an effective oral online presentation. And day 2 of the CPE program, the first session was given by Mr. Naresh under the topic communication in marketing and sales. He initiated the session with some important points necessary for life. He also said, to be successful, one should be updated about the market, financial condition of different countries. And he emphasized the importance of branding, positioning, value proposition, and some tactics. He gave idea about email marketing. He gave a clear explanation on marketing formula also. Overall, he had an impressive interaction with the participants. On day 2, the second session was by Dr. Uma Devi, and the topic was soft skills for healthcare professional. She explained about what are the soft skills a pharmacist should have, that is accuracy, communication skills, professionalism, code of ethics for pharmacists, computer skills, diplomacy, and active listening. The third day, first session was handled by Dr. Bhuvaneshwari. The topic was incorporation of IT tools and animations in presentations. She started the session by highlighting the importance of animation and graphics in presentation, as it eases the communication and makes the audience to be attentive. She dealt with the composition of software and tools available to check the spells and grammar. She discussed the importance of incorporation of movies, images, sounds, and other multimedia in the presentation. She listed various presentation preparation tools available, and for each and every tool, she explained the components, features, system requirements, availability of tools such as PowerPoint, Google Slide, Prezi, Keynote, Visme, Videoplasty, Zoho, and HeyQDeck. And she gave demonstration on some important commonly accessible tools such as PowerPoint, Google Slide, Prezi, and Visme. On day 3, the second session was handled by Dr. Gopinath, and the topic was communication skills in multidisciplinary healthcare team. Dr. Gopinath started the session by narrating history of a patient who was critically ill, and he gave the composition of multidisciplinary healthcare team that responsible for treating a critically ill patient. He clearly stated the pros and cons of the multidisciplinary healthcare team, and he discussed how to make an effective MDT, multidisciplinary healthcare team approach for success. And he emphasized the importance of communication among the multidisciplinary team, as well as we are all in the life-saving profession. And if any errors happen because of the communication, wrong communication, sometimes the consequences cannot be reversed. He also clearly explained about the role of the pharmacist. And on day 4, the first session was conducted by Dr. Neelakandan. The topic was communication and presentation skills. He made the session very interactive, and he suggested some tips and steps that should be followed during presentation. He addressed that using tenses in a convenient manner while speaking and writing, one can effectively communicate with each other. He also gave many examples for vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation errors generally committed during the presentation by the presenters. He also communicated the importance of intonation during talking, and also suggested some tips to improve the vocabulary. And on day 4, the second session was handled by Dr. Jyoti Mani. The topic was developing presentation skills in slow learners. She made the session very much interesting by giving different examples. She suggested many approaches that can be adopted to enhance the learning capability in slow learners. The last day today, the first session was handled by Dr. Shanta Kumari. and the topic was therapeutic communication. Dr. Shanta Kumari started the session by playing a video as an example how a communication should not be. And she gave about 4 vital things, that is listening, eye-to-eye contact, clarify, emotional communications that have to be kept in mind during communication with patients. And Madam had made the session very interactive. And finally, the last session was handled by Dr. K. Uma. The topic was do's and don'ts a perspective. Ma'am clearly said many slogans for a successful communication and presentation, and the key points were presented nicely in an alphabetical order, as it was very much impressive. Now, this is the overview of the 5-day CPE program. Now I hand over the session to the convener of the program and head Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Dr. K. Uma, Madam. Madam, please proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Meda, for giving an elaborate version about what the resource persons have done. Now, coming to the vote of thanks, first and foremost, I have to thank our principal. Actually, casually in a HOD's meeting, we were just discussing of what to do, and he had given for each department, he had given one assignment, and this I liked it very much. He was telling that this has to be insisted consistently because this is the need of the day. And so I had taken up this, and we wanted to do it for 1 full week because this might help rather than doing just a particular session and just leaving off. When you continuously hear such things, certain points may get into your mind. So with that point of view, we had started this. And thank you all because for each and every session, everybody, almost nearly 100 people were there. I don't know how many we cannot say that how many are really into it, but still you have joined, and I'm very happy for that. And I actually thank our principal, Dr. Ramanathan, for having supported us and given us this topic. And he's the brain behind. And all the resource persons, as now what Dr. Meda said, I have to thank every one of them. 2 resource persons from abroad, and about 7 persons inside and outside Coimbatore, including myself. And the most special thanks I have to give to all the colleagues of our institution, because the afternoon sessions were taken up by them. Dr. Lavanya, Dr. Shivakumar, and Mr. Nityanand, Mr. D. Shivakumar, Dr. S. Subramanian, Dr. Meda, Mrs. Shruti, Dr. Shamla, Mr. Karthikeyan, Dr. Malati, Dr. Habibur Rahman, Mrs. Nitya. They have given hands-on training in an excellent way, and just we have assigned the duty, and they have done everything by themselves. So we are very happy for that everything went on very well, and hands-on training was efficiently done. We are really proud to be associated with PSG institutions for supporting us with such an enormous infrastructural facility. And without this, this wouldn't have happened. This is not possible to create such a great virtual platform. And I have to thank especially my colleagues who are in the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Dr. Meda Angels. Yeah, because I want to just show this photo to everyone. They are the ones behind this CPE program, and without them, this cannot happen at all. The whole of this week, they were helping in all ways. And last but not the least, I have a great regard for all of you, the participants, and you are the actual cream of this entire session. And thank you one and all. And what I would like to say is just give us some time for next week so that within 3-4 days, we will just check your attendance both in the YouTube as well as in this Zoom. And then those who got a good amount of percentage of attendance, we definitely will send the feedback to you within 3-4 days, and we'll send you the certificates. And today, a questionnaire will be sent with 10 questions. Please attend that. And you can also, during the Saturdays, Sundays, you can also just go through the YouTube videos which have been sent to you. And with this, once again, my wholehearted thanks to all of you, and thank you.